Hey guys, in this video we're going to take a quick look at a new frame that just came in. It's a ZMR-210R, and as you can see here, it's got the unibody single plate here, and should make for a lighter build. I'll take this out here in a second, but let me just show you what comes in the kit here. You get a couple of battery straps. You get 8 of these standoffs. They're 35 millimeters. You get some nylon standoffs here for the PDB, and get some washers, and you get a few nuts here. Then you get these 2 bags of screws. Get a whole bunch of these shorter ones. I think these are 6 millimeter screws, and then you get some of these longer ones. I think these are 10 or 12 millimeter screws. I'm a little bit concerned about these screws because now obviously you're going to need these to go through the 4 millimeter bottom plate here, and I'm pretty sure these are going to be too short, so I'm going to probably use some longer screws of my own that I have on hand. And that's one thing that should change, is include some longer screws for the 8 standoffs, at least through the main bottom plate here. They only have these 4 here that are longer, and I'm assuming that's going to be for the PDB flight controller area going through the bottom. So yeah, they definitely need to include some more of these. Now they are including this Maytech PDB. It's got a 5 volt and a 12 volt regulator on board. I'm not sure I'm going to be using this one, because I'm going to probably use an all-in-one ESC for my build. I haven't decided quite yet, but that's what I'm leaning towards at the moment. Go ahead and take this out and I'll show you how the pieces look. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely going to be a very simple build. You just got these 2 pieces here for the camera mounting, and you can see here it's got the center screw with the additional locking screw in the back here. This is for your RunCam Swift type cameras, so it's probably what I'm going to be using, and it should hold the cameras in pretty well. You get a top plate here. I think this is probably 2 millimeters. Let me just double check. Yep, exactly 2 millimeters. And they got some interesting cutouts here. A little bit of a flange here where the battery strap's going to go through in the top. Pretty big cutouts here in the top here for where the battery is going to sit. Normally I like to put some sticky pads here to hold the battery in place. So I'll have to probably put some on the side here. And there's not going to be any grip here in the center. But you get your 8 holes for the standoffs there. You got the 2 holes here for your camera mount. It's pretty nice carbon. I don't see a whole lot of carbon dust coming off of my fingers like on a lot of new frames. Though probably it is a little bit sharp on this, so I probably will use my diamond file to clean it up a little bit. Just a look at the main plate here. It's pretty nice carbon, clean. The edges are beveled. I don't know if you can catch that on camera, but you can see there's beveling on it's straight, and then it's beveled about 45 degrees right on the edge right there. So it does make for a nice clean look. Yeah, and it's very clean. There's no carbon dust coming off of my fingers. So let's see how exactly thick this bottom plate is. And it comes in at 4 millimeters, just like I thought. But yeah, you can see the layers of carbon look very well put together. It's very clean overall. There's a few markings on the carbon, but it's pretty clean for, this is about a $60 frame, and should be extremely easy to put together. Let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. So here I'm putting the bottom screws in here for the standoffs. You can see there are only about 2 millimeters of thread here for the standoffs. So yeah, if you've got some of these screws available to you, definitely go for some longer ones. I happen to have some 10 millimeter screws. I bought like a pack of 100, and I'll put a link to that in the description if you guys are interested in getting those, I always recommend putting longer screws in for these standoffs, because when you crash, these will just get stripped off right away. Okay, so I'm about to put these screws in for the flight controller area here, and I'm noticing that they have two sets of screws here. There's a 30 by 30 pattern, and then inside is a 20 by 20 pattern. So I guess they have these for the smaller Pico VLX style flight controllers. If you guys want to use one of those, this frame will accommodate that. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm about to put these longer screws in. It's meant for these these screws here. They go under here, and I think you're supposed to put the washer on, and then put your PDB on there, and then put the nylon standoff on there on top of that. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to put the PDB in here if you're going to use it. You use the longer screws, the 4 longer screws here in the center, and then you got those 4 washers that go in between the carbon and the PDB, so you don't get any shorts. And then you put the PDB on, and then you secure the PDB with these 4 nylon standoffs that are also included. And then you would stick your flight controller on top of that, and then use the 4 nuts to lock down your flight controller. So you would have a very low stack here. So I'm probably going to be using, as I said earlier, a 4-in-1 ESC and then a flight controller. So it'll be probably similar size in terms of height. Okay, so here it is all assembled. And yeah, I really like the looks of this thing. I like the fact that they're going away from this sort of straight lines and coming over these curves and these little details on the corners here where the frame kind of wraps around like this and then to these other curves here. So yeah, also obviously it's being repeated on the bottom plate as well. I really like these little details, and it makes it look really nice, even though obviously it's not going to matter so much for performance. I like the way it looks. Let's get some measurements here for the motor to motor length. And I think it's supposed to be 210 millimeters. At least that's what's advertised. And that looks like we're just about spot on, 210 millimeters. Motor to motor, and it does look like it's a squashed X-frame. I think it's going to be shorter front to back than side to side. So front to back's about 128, 129 millimeters, and then the side to side is, yeah, it's definitely way wider on side to side, 166 millimeters side to side. So it's kind of interesting that this is it's more squashed this way, front to back, versus wider side to side. Whereas I think some of the newer frames are coming out, or the trends are coming out, where it's going to be longer front to back versus side to side, squashed the other way around. So I'll have to definitely pick up one of those frames and compare it to something like this and see how they fly. I'm sure the flight characteristics are going to be completely different. Let's see how much this thing weighs. Okay, we're coming in at 114 grams, and that's with the PDB. So you save a little bit of weight in this sort of style. We have the unibody bottom plate instead of all the extra screws and stuff and the little extra plates to sandwich the arms on, say, like the QAVR. I think that one came in around 120, 125 grams without the PDB, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly, but that was definitely heavier than this. So should be able to get a little bit better performance out of this one, especially if I'm using a 4-in-1 ESC. That also saves extra weight because there's less wires and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward to putting this together. I'm gonna be using my newly acquired Emax motors. These are the new 2205S 2600 kV motors. So definitely going to be a really good performer, I think, that we're going to have for this one, with the lighter weight and more powerful motors. So looking forward to building this. So I have another video on my channel probably in a week or so stay tuned for that. And let me know if you have any questions about this. Put links below for where you can get all this stuff, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.